Good morning, sir. I'm Akshay Jagadas. My ANC ID number 4952, and this is my teammate Mohammed Moniz 5421, then Tanusha Kohosilan 5688. Today we are going to present the security breaches. So these are the content in our presentation. The first one is introduction about the social engineering, CIA, and non-repudiation. So the next, the Marriott. Then we are going to explain those three categories, how we going to apply it and how we are going to face the breaches. Then finally we are coming to the conclusion. So the first, what is the social engineering? So the social engineering is the context of information security and the psychology manipulate the people into the performing the actions and confidentially information in the word of social engineering. It's a form of manipulating the people so they can give their confidential information. For an example, card number, maybe the credit card or debit card, maybe the accounts, or else their email address or any other online transaction accounts. So, for an example, how does it look like? So, basically, they are sending the email the trusted source, like for an example, urgent help, or else like the sending some donations, or else if you're donating this much amount then you will get this much of voucher, or else like you are the winner of this gaming, or like if you are signing this game then you will win this much of amounts. So in these cases they are sending this trusted source emails. So this is the social engineering examples. Maybe the next one is the CIA. So, what is the CIA? Central Intelligence Agency. It's an independent U.S. government agency that are responsible of the providing national security intelligence to the U.S. policymakers. CIA try to actual the security model that has been developed to the people think about the various part of IT security. So, what is the CIA breakdown? So, the first C, it's a confidence, then the I, integrity, then next one is the availability. So what is the confidentiality? So the compared to the other goals, confidentiality is more important than integrity and availability. It's the most important goal when an organization has been recorded the people's personal information like the bank details or else the personal details. To maintain the confidentiality of the people's personal information under the CIA title, specific organization should be the proper control and the monitor unauthorized access. So integrity. Any chance to budgetary records promotes issues in this precision, consistency, and the estimation of this data. Then availability. The availability is just a recorded the secondly, and the CIA group of three ensure accessibility of the data in the public statements. Governments guaranteed that the sites and frameworks are the inconstitutional and the personal time. So what is the non-repudiation? So it's a legal term you are for information security. It's used in Saudi and provides proof the original data and integrity of data. This could be the offered for the digital signatures used for online transaction because it's ensure that the part contract is not manipulated. So it's an identity, maybe the authentication of the identity. So next I'm coming to the what is the exact thing the Marriott faces, because we took the Marriott is the largest organization in the hospitality and tourism. They have a lot of contacts at the same time. They have a lot of customers details as well as their staffs as well. Because for an example, accounts, credit card, debit card, their email address to any maybe the online transactions ID, for an example, PayPal, or else like eBay, maybe the username and password. So the Marriott. So back in 2018, the Marriott encountered its suspicious of the international guest reservation database because the security tools flagged an unusual database query. The forensics process led to the questions as to where the breach started. And the initial understanding was the merger of the Marriott and Starwood was the reason of the this late. because the breaches was encrypted attempt by the attacker to remove from the Starwood system. The database query had been made by the user who had the administrator privileges, but analysis revealed that the person who has the account was assigned wasn't one of the who made the query. Someone else had managed to take the control of accounts. Investigation found the remote access to the Trojan along with the main keys. The tool found the username and password from the system memory tool that it could be have given the attacker control the administrator's account. However, they couldn't find how they was placed in the server. One of the main reasons as to why they had the attack is because the true Starwood did not use the best security culture before it is. In 2015, they faced the same problem at the different breaches attempt in that year. Starwood's also the all system was linked in like the zombie which had the infected with the malware. Breaches and the procure until the breaches that was figured out. The main reason is the breaches that they didn't use the best security culture before the acquisition by the Marriott. The encryption keys were also stored in the same server and was scooped with in the breaches. Later, the investigation found out the attacking the pattern matched up with the technique used the state-sponsored Chinese hacker because the attacking used the closed hosting the spaces and frequently basis they use the common method uses the Chinese hackers and another cloud is was stolen the valuable record had ended up for sales the dark web. The motive of the attack was accused of massive data details the American employees. So the breaches has hosted the Marriott closely. It's like $28 million, and they hacked like more than 5 million to 10 million customer details the past years. And how led the billions of dollar losses revenue because of the breaches that Marriott could unlimited to see to have the must strengthen to Starwood the IT infrastructure. They had to pay the penalty to the ICO as punishment of the maintaining the poor framework and the infrastructure. And finally, Marriott had taken to the extra setup and the email all affected the company asking to the reset your password and lock in your credentials. Next, Tanusia will explain.
Good morning, everybody. Today I am going to talk about how to apply CIA to the Marriott data breach. The database query was made by a user in Marriott with administrator privileges, but analysis quickly revealed that the person to whom that account was assigned was not the one who made the query. Someone else had managed to take the control of the account. This is an application of confidentiality laws in Marriott data breach. Investigators began sourcing the system for clues, and they discovered a remote access Trojan and along with Mimikatz, a tool for sniffing out username password composed in system memory. Together, these tools could have given the attackers control of the administrator account. It's not clear how the rat was placed onto the Starwood server, but such Trojans are often downloaded from phishing emails, and it's reasonable to guess that might have been the case here. So let's see how integrity was lost in Marriott data breach. Marriott discovered that an unauthorized party had copied and encrypted their data. According to the report, inspectors found that Marriott had failed to have sufficient controls over computerized systems. Uh, After an FDA inspection conducted, the company had committed to enhancing its data integrity, but during the recent inspection, officials found that the company had not implemented the plans as promised. Also, report says that Marriott did not include evidence to support recovery of deleted electronic data or demonstrate how will prevent such deletion from recurring in the future. So let's see how availability was leaked in Marriott data breach. Marriott saved their data. Marriott saved their customer information in cloud computing services. The involvement of US intelligence services in the investigation says that the attackers used a cloud hosting space frequently used by Chinese hackers to hack Marriott customer data. Report says that the attack occurred because attackers were able to access cloud data of a Marriott customers' data. So, what is the solution for Marriott data breach? And what Marriott did after their data breach? Solution for this problem are that Marriott should be always prepared for a disaster recovery and keep their clients well informed about the possibilities of cloud downtime so that they can get away from the embarrassment at later stages. Marriott failed to test regularly to ensure there are no vulnerabilities in their cloud infrastructure. This means testing all pieces of their software for script manipulation and multiple sites of entry, as well as ensuring that any software engaged in cross-site scripting is secure from all sides. Also, what Marriott did after their data breach, their customer financial details are hacked. So Marriott confirmed it will send affected customers an email with a link to its website, and they says change your password to their customers. Read your credit card statement. Review your statement carefully. As an extra level of caution, uh, people can request a new payment card number. Also, they should freeze their credit reports. If people information is sold, the buyer can open new account in customer's name by using customer's personal information that was stolen from Marriott's server. To prevent this from happening, people can place a freeze on customer credit reports so that any activity of new account openings will be tracked and prevented. And they say to their customers alert their credit card company. Whenever customers fear that their personal information is compromised, they should immediately call their credit card company and warn them of suspicious activity. These are the integrity which Marriott took after their data breach. Thank you.
As we are unable to perform the group presentation as usual in the class, we are recording our parts and merging it and sending it to you as a group. So as my part, I will be talking few points on non-repudiation. So let me explain what is non-repudiation. First of all, I want to say that there is no act or a company that follow the theory 100%. So I couldn't find the exact events happened regarding non-repudiation in Marriott breach, but I have tried my best to relate non-repudiation with the Marriott breach. Non-repudiation is most relevant in transactional events. Non-repudiation is the assurance that someone cannot deny something. Typically, non-repudiation refers to the ability to ensure that a party to a contract or a communication cannot deny the authenticity of their signature on a document or the sending of a message that they originated. So, audit trail. So, audit trail is when a user visits a website, it is possible to identify the IP address of the user, including which pages they have visited and at what time. So it is possible to prove the authenticity that this particular person has accessed these sites by recording their IP address and visited web pages, etc. Application of audit trail to the breach. Remote access to Trojan was found on first investigation by the third-party cybersecurity experts, but still they didn't find whether the system is hacked. RIT is a tool to access a computer unknowingly to the owner and gain control over it. Again, later the investigators found a penetration tool called Mimikatz. Mimikatz is a tool that will allow the hackers to find the username and password, which will allow to go deep in the network. But still they have not found whether the system is hacked. Application of audit trail. Investigators has discovered two compressed and encrypted file has got deleted from a device. So we can see that there is a record which is not deniable because two encrypted files has got deleted from device. Those files are filled with customer details, so it is not possible to be deleted by the employees or even the cybersecurity expert. So it is proving that the attackers has accessed the system and deleted the encrypted files. Next, in September, installation of remote access Trojan. So this is a Trojan which is installed by the hackers again. So any of the internal employees won't do this or install this kind of softwares. So again, it proves that the hackers has accessed the computer. Next, in October, installation of a penetration tool called Mimikatz. So by this installation, it's proving that the hackers has come into the system. Next, moving on to the authentication. So these are types of authentication: passcode, password, challenge response, smart cards, biometrics, security tokens, card security codes, magnetic stripe cards. So I have chosen two-factor authentication. So the users needs to authenticate even after a normal login to a system. So when their passwords are really correct, and they will get a message to their mobile or email receiving a passcode. So they will need to enter those passcode to the system. So if it is correct, then they will get the allowance to access the system. So this is a small concept of security, but it is a very high-end system in security. Application of two-factor authentication. Starwood IT system has not implemented two-factor authentication when logging into the organization's email. So somehow the attackers were able to identify the email ID and the password of supervisors to send emails by requesting sensitive data from the low-level employees. So this could be analyzed from attacker's perspective and the employee's perspective. From attacker's perspective, supervisor's email account is hacked. So it is probable that he didn't send email asking sensitive data from the low-level employees. So it is probable that an attacker had sent email requesting for sensitive data. Next, in employee's perspective, is that the employee can't deny that the giving of sensitive data to the attackers by email. So in conclusion, we have analyzed the Marriott data breach in terms of social engineering, CIA triad, and non-repudiation. Social engineering is a tactic that criminals use to manipulate the intended users to get sensitive information from them. We have seen that criminals might tackle the employees to get confidential information by sending emails. In confidentiality, the organization had encrypted the personal data, but still they had made it possible to decrypt the data by identifying the decryption keys. Non-repudiation is a very useful concept for cybersecurity experts because it proves or disproves that a user or an attacker had done a work. It is easy to identify if any threats are going to happen to a system when attackers are trying to access a system illegally. We have found that there was an access to the computer remotely in their earlier state. Then later the attacker had installed a penetration tool called Mimikatz, which led them to find the usernames and passwords of the systems. In authentication, Marriott was unable to maintain a two-factor authentication, so hackers were able to access the system by using the username and password only. Thank you very much.